You don't say? No. So I never know really where to put my tools, laying around all over the table mostly. This Monday there was the Amazon Prime Day and I've ordered a magnetic tool holder. I found some matching screws and I will start with the center connection. I think I'm using a trick here. I'll just do the first screw and then I will align everything and then I'll just putting the screws in. These screws are carefully selected to not go through the wood. Oh, that could be tricky. Maybe the bit is too short. Okay, round about here. Okay, let's leave the screw alone. Let's do the others. Let's do 5.5, maybe for 4. It doesn't have to be that accurate, but I wanted to at least not look out on the other side. I apologize for everyone cringing right now that it's slipping the screw. I just pushed it in to the socket and now it should be still 5.4 roundabout here. Might move a bit and we're golden. And we got it. First one is up. Okay, they aren't magnetic. This one is magnetic. This one is of course magnetic. Yay! Hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. I'm a bit disappointed that my tweezers aren't working. What? What's going on here? So I think the next one will be slightly more in here. I'm thinking about getting a piece of wood for the backside and then just attach the magnetic stripe to it. That might make sense for the soldering station as well. But for now I'm gonna just put in the other one as well and then we'll see from there. I like to have something right here. I thought about adding a lot of 10x10 PCBs with synthesizers on here. But for now it's much better to have it up here than to have it all over the table. So okay, seems like Prime Day. On Prime Day I went a bit mad because the magnetic tool holder was something I bought on Prime Day. Well, it's a paper cutter and I always miss the paper cutter from the copy shop where I was working at. And also because I have so many leftovers from 3D printing, let me show them. Because whenever I'm 3D printing something, the 3D printer that we're using is a Zortrix M200 and the Zortrix has this, what is it called, brim layer? Skirt layer? Well, it prints stuff on this layer and then you can easily peel off the layer and then you end up with this. Since we're printing quite a lot, you can imagine there's quite a lot of plastic. So I thought it would be interesting to just shred it down. This is HIPS, hips, whatever. And then I was looking through Amazon and found a hand cranked paper cutter, CD shredder, card shredder. So I thought that might be interesting to just try it out. I have some manual work. That was the crank. It's really top heavy and doesn't fit well together. Who would have thought? Probably, yeah, protection, okay. That's probably enough for CDs, but I'm not sure this is enough for the plastic. I want to end up with flakes. I mean, at least it cut it in 3 pieces. So it's smaller. I think it's better to buy one that can handle like a lot of pieces of paper. I've seen machines that can do 14 pieces of paper and thick cardboard. So if it goes in, I mean, technically I could put it in here. Who cares if I break it, right? No one. Not even I do. Just not break the crank. Just break the plastic. Okay. That's not looking so good. It's still stripes, but that's okay. If I manage to get stripes like this out, I'll maybe end up with something like that behind me. Maybe I can put this into the CD again and then I get smaller bits. So now I try it this way. Worked. I like those. It's probably more plastic in here than in the actual parts that I get out of the print. It's kind of an addicting process. So I'll probably have a good pile of plastic and then I'll try to bake it. But I've heard that hips is laser cuttable, so that's why I'm just turning the hips plastic. Then I'll try to make an even plate of the plastic and try to find someone who wants to laser cut the stuff. So, Matze, maybe I'll visit you. Okay, I should really stop now. And fix up the other magnetic thing over there. See you in a bit. And it hangs. That's another chop upgrade. Chop. Also, how cool is that? I've been to Lidl. Well, actually, no. Now I've been to Lidl. No, actually my mom went to Lidl and bought me those and then brought me them. Yeah, she rode the bike. That's like 12 kilometers to get from her place to my place. She was like, yeah, sure, I'll buy them. I'll bring them over. She's in a sporty mood. Pink, green, yellow, power sockets. Not always the white and black ones or the brown ones. Who wants brown? Okay, this area normally always looks like that. It's always a bit messy and crowded in here. That's what curtains are for, right? 3 lights. So it's dimmable. I wasn't paying attention when buying it. I just saw a cheap light and thought that would be perfect for my situated printers over here. So you get this connecting cable in here. So I have this power strip and it's like one switch turns on one 3D printer, and upstairs here is the power for the normal Wi-Fi printer that I have. The board in here is actually pretty thin. It's about a centimeter. I don't know. I don't think I hit something important. Maybe one over here. Woo! Don't look into the sun. Woohoo! I could angle grind it down. Grind down. What am I doing? Old man. So if anything falls down, it might just end up in the nowhere lands. I don't know. Okay, that's something, I guess. This should give a good light for filming as well. It's not the best and brightest light, but it's pretty good for this area. So it's been 2 or 3 days. I got a bit excessive here. Those are stereo 3.5mm sockets that are actually switchable. You can put it on a PCB and you can also mount it on a case. A grey one from China. Not so bad. That's just a collection of resistors. For all those synthesizer modules, I plan on just using a bunch of those resistors because I don't want to actually buy all the components by themselves. I thought it might be just good to grab a pack of this and then just put in whatever I need. Shotgun it. What's inside? I think that's also a stereo connector, but it's not switchable, but it might come in handy for projects. I was thinking about putting them like this and have them in the rack like this. What am I doing? So for my recent for the latest project, I want to have resistors, potentiometers that have the smallest footprint on a PCB as they can be. I've paid €1 per piece and then €2 shipping. So I've been to the home improvement store and bought 2 drills for metal and a cutting wheel for my Dremel. I'm sorry, I'm calling it the Dremel, but it's actually a Proxon. And I've bought 2 times 1 meter of an aluminium profile, 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. My plan is to drill into this to make room for M3 screws and then use PCBs like this to make up the little synthesizer. Also in the mail, well, I'm actually tricking here, there's no stamp on it, it's perfect plain Oshpark envelope here. And I was able to get it like this because they sent it in another envelope. I didn't do these boards myself. This is done by deshipu. It's an octopus for a breadboard, and you have to put on LEDs here, and then you have something for a breadboard to test connections. Those are probably on Tindy already, so I might drop a link in the description. And if not, it's a link to his Heckaday IO profile. I've designed 2 boards, and it's been a while. I will be in so much pain. Let's see if you can guess what it is. You probably guessed it already, but here's another clue. So that's my RGB LED matrix with APA 102s in 2020, so 2 by 2 millimeter. It's so dark. It's so dark. Let's remove that. It's nice of them to put it in there. That's actually sponsored by them. This is for the second PCB, of course. Let me just grab one. That's something. That's tiny. That's just tiny. That looks like a lot of pain. I think I have to get my toaster oven out. That's the sponsored board. The other one I bought myself with my own money. Board looks pretty good, and okay, once again. Yeah, that looks pretty neat. It's just one thing, and I don't know how it happened. Can you see that? My logo has eyes here, but it doesn't have eyes here. What is the AutoBoy Max? I really like the AutoBoy, but the display is kind of tiny. I thought I could build a clone with a 2.24 OLED screen and have Game Boy buttons instead. This is based on the stuff I did for the Fame Boy. Excuse me, the buttons are a bit dirty, but I think you know where I'm getting with this design. Here's the back side. I'll actually hand wire the display to this connector. There's also a nice Gray C connector. There's battery power management like on the Lame Boy. There normally is a chip on the Lame Boy that decides whether it takes the 5 volts or the battery power. So it's better for charging the battery if it's not also drawing current. So you can actually play it while gaming. That's possible with the Lame Boy, but not with this design. Because the chip is €2 and I wanted to, well, don't make it that expensive. There are some test points for soldering on stuff. See, this one is really close together. We have 0603 resistors and 0805 capacitors. This is the footprint for the Atmega 32U4, and they come in the bigger size as well. So I was opting out for the TQFP. I'm also excited about this. Na 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 na. Oh, flunkies. Hyperpixel. So I saw the announcement of Pimeroni that they have this wonderful display. It has 800 by 480 pixels and is 4 inches big. But the plan is to use this for another console. Maybe a better version of the Fame Boy. I just wanted to have one. So thank you everyone for watching another segment of Hey, I've bought stuff. Isn't it amazing? It's my way this week to show you what I'm working on, and it was basically just me buying stuff and preparing some projects for the future. Again, I know sometimes it also takes parts to arrive here, so this is what I have to do. I also want to clean up this place. It's really messy because of all the cardboard. Yeah, because I've ordered stuff, go figure. Amazon boxes all over the place and so much else. There's also a 3D printer maybe in this room that I haven't unpacked, and it's here for like a week now. And I know you're thinking, Dave, you have like 2, what is up with you? Do you have too much money? Why don't you give me the money? Why don't you give me one of the 3D printers? The really cool 3D printers aren't actually mine, they are from my work. I don't want to be dependent on my job to 3D print things, and so I bought a 3D printer while I'm financially stable, so that I have a 3D printer when I'm not financially stable. So it's basically an investment into my future that isn't the future anymore. Bam! I've spray painted another proto board. It's one of those really crappy ones that really smell bad. No, it smells like paint. And also PCB. I'm planning on prototyping a project that I later want to design a PCB for. Well, actually I've designed the PCB for it already, but I want to verify the design, and I want to verify it in a cool looking way. I also have pink spray paint, so isn't that the coolest proto board there is? Like, woo, look at me, I'm in the fancy. I also bought orange, so I might spray one orange, and then I have the PCBs that I've always wanted. Pink and orange PCBs. Why is nobody ever listened to me? Why? You're tearing me apart, board houses. Oh, hi Mark. I did not spray paint it here. I did not. Thank you for enduring the video that I've cut. I think it's way too long. You can tell me in the comments that it's way too long. I can hear that all. Where am I going with this? I really should stop with the bad jokes because I don't have time for this. I actually want to do some projects. Yeah, it's a good thing that the battery is empty now. One more thing!